Hey everybody, Dr. Amy here with Fortress Physical Therapy. Wanted to introduce to you another athlete, master's athlete, who is also a member of CrossFit Pineville and indirectly a little bit of a FPT athlete as well, Anne Marie Hubbard. She has been very near and dear to my heart, so I actually specifically train with her, and we push each other. So just wanted to do a quick interview and talk about how she got started with physical therapy, the importance of how she continues to maintain physical therapy within her lifestyle and active lifestyle, both in and out of the gym, and as well as what recommendations she perhaps can provide others on how physical therapy should be a part of the longevity game. So, welcome, Miss Anne.
Thank you for having me.
So, um, so kind of just start a brief journey or overall, how physical therapy kind of became aware for you and how you continue to instill it in your routine, being a master's athlete and, trying to strive towards the games this year in 2021.
Yeah, so I'd have to say I really didn't know how important physical therapy was in my life until I really hurt myself when I was in my early 50s, which was, about 5 years ago. I tore my rotator cuff and I kind of knew something was wrong. I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of immobility. And like every other person, ignored it for a while until movements that I knew I had I no longer had. I didn't have the strength, and along with it came a lot of pain. So I had surgery and realized very quickly after surgery that the difference with 100% recovery and 50% recovery was physical therapy. And that I needed to take physical therapy very seriously. I was extremely dedicated to it. People think that physical therapy is just coming and seeing you once a week. It's not. The hard work is at home. The hard work is by yourself. And the hard work is working through the pain so that each week when we come back, you're progressing the healing process. But it's up to us to take those movements, practice them at home, make it a priority in your life so that each week becomes a progression, not a repetition of what you just did the week before. So I think, interestingly enough, having gone through shoulder surgery once, I hate to admit it, but it happened again. And it just happened on my other shoulder. I do think it comes from a lot of movements when I was very young and really pushing myself at a later age. But knowing the second time, knowing that physical therapy was what exactly needed to happen in order for me to recover 100%, and that I could recover 100, if not more, because I do believe because of physical therapy, I'm stronger now than I've ever been before, even before surgery, that the second time through really enhanced the fact that it makes a difference. It has to be coming from yourself, and you cannot just rely 100% on your physical therapist, but you are the person who creates the programming. So it's up to us to continue it.
Right, right. And I think the cool part, like, not only, the pandemic happened last year, so you and I became much more closer from like the training perspective. And, I personally had to navigate shoulder pain. Remember when we first started out with some base camp training? Like, I had to gut check myself and not do a lot of heavy movements and had to focus on the little things again. So, you know, in part, Anne had to be a little bit of my own physical therapist chirping in my ear, but I think that's one thing that, you know, I'm in my mid 30s right now, so I have come to realize too that mobility in trying to stay as much active and incorporating flexibility daily, if not at least 3-4 times a week, is super important because we tend to get stiff or kind of revert back to that like fetal position of some sort, right? We're letting gravity win. So, you know, I think that those are some characteristics that I have seen instilled it in you, and as you recovered through your shoulder surgery, that Anne Marie wasn't not coming here when she was going through her rehab. She was still training because at the time when she hurt her right arm, she was training the left arm, and then vice versa when you went through the second surgery. So she has two legs, she has a heart, and she had another arm to use. So the gym and hitting up some of the physical therapy exercises, and I was still watching you from afar. You know, we were still training together, but it was like, oh no, Anne, let me just kind of give you some cueing through here, and like, oh, lift your arm this way, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, she's in the sling, sweating her buns off. But and I think the cool thing about you though is you have this. She has this goal right now where she's striving to head towards the CrossFit Games in her age bracket, and you hired a coach, and I think the coach is on point too, that he knows that physical therapy is a part of the programming. So not only does your coach just automatically program it, but I think I remember a while back you had an episode of pain in your low back, and like we did a thorough assessment. Like when to really truly hone in on getting some good treatment in. Other than that, like it is like you're independent. I ain't got to worry about you, So like how would you, I know you're driven, and I know that this is something that needs to keep you in the long game, but what would you tell someone else to help them create a nice, well-rounded, like health and wellness lifestyle, and to know that physical therapy can be a part of it? It's not just repetitions of rubber bands and external rotation and all this stuff, but like physical therapy is different now. It's not just table exercises.
Yeah, I would completely agree. So, I think it becomes very independent. It becomes, what's your goal? So what's my goal? My goal is to age with grace. My goal is to age with functional fitness, right? So I look at some older people now who can't move, and that is not where I want to be. So when you think about what causes someone to not be mobile, it has everything to do with flexibility and mobility. And physical therapy is the equation that needs to be put into your life in order for you to achieve functional fitness. So, at the end of the day, for me, let's face it, physical therapy moves, they're not exciting. You don't do a PR in physical therapy. But like you had mentioned, I do surround myself by experts. I surround myself by coaches because I work full time. I'm a mother of 2 teenage boys and married for 25 years. This is a part of my life. But I think at the end of the day, what I've grown to really enjoy is, at the age of 54 going on 55, physical therapy is programmed into my workout 30 minutes before I even start to lift the first barbell. A lot of people don't have that time, but I am absolutely dedicated to that because I know that 30 minutes provides me a healthy environment for me to lift the best that I can. And it allows my body to be that much more mobile, work on that much more flexibility, versus a lot of people come in the gym, they land on a foam roller, and 5 minutes later they're hitting a barbell. I know from my age today, I cannot do that and continue to enjoy the sport of CrossFit and be healthy. My goal is to never have surgery again. And the difference between that is that I spend 30 minutes a day before I touch a barbell doing physical therapy movements that to other people might be really boring, but for me have been integral, has been the major, major difference in progressing in this sport and not. But it also makes me feel good. When I go to lift, I'm not in pain. I don't feel a twinge because my body has really learned how to warm up through the physical therapy movements that all of you and my coaches have programmed for me. So it's enjoying the non-sexy stuff. It really is the biggest difference. And now that I've learned that, it will always be that. Even on my rest days, we spend 45 minutes doing Ramwad or doing a warrior routine. That's so that all of the tissue continues to remain pliable And I've learned to enjoy that. Not every day do you need to be rolling around on the floor gasping for air.
Totally agree with that. Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for joining in, Ann. I appreciate it. And cheers to 2021, the CrossFit Games. Everybody look for her name. She's coming. She's coming for you. She's coming.